Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm at an undisclosed location. I'm not going to do a lot of talking today, but I am going to show you what I'm working on. And that's right, I'm not on the homestead today. Let's get started. So you may have noticed a couple of things already. First, these logs are already cut. They weren't originally cut. I had cross-cut them to about 7 feet in length. The reason for that is because I wanted to have something that I could carry, knowing that I was going to be doing this by myself. And I wanted something that I could easily create some sort of straight edge or a sled so that I could mill using that. And I know that simple 2x4s I could get at 8-foot lengths, and that would give me about a foot to play around with on either end of the cut. You might also have noticed that, well, I'm having some trouble here trying to get the sled to line up. The reason for that is because I positioned the log to where the convex side of this log was on the top. Basically, the part that bows outward was on the top. Eventually, I get this sorted out and I roll the log over and put it in the right way. Something that I should note here is that this is not an easy thing to do. Chainsaw milling might look easy on YouTube, but there's a lot of work involved and a lot more tools than you might imagine. You do need some sort of sled to rest your mill on. You obviously need the chainsaw mill itself. You need the chainsaw. You need the fuel, the bar oil. You need a sharp chain. You need PPE. Like a good helmet and ear protection, eye protection, and really I should be wearing chaps, but I'm not in here. And there's just a number of other things that you don't think about, like a cant hook and maybe some wedges and other tools to get through a single slab. On top of that, you might even need a second chainsaw, because as you'll see through this video, there's a few times where I'm really struggling because I have to pull the chainsaw back, I have to make a couple small cuts, and just having one chainsaw is really tough, especially when your bar is just a little too short for the size of wood you're trying to cut. Another thing to note is that having a really sharp chain is very important when you're making these cuts. If you have just a dull blade, you're going to sit and spin and you're going to rev up your chainsaw, but you're really not going to get anywhere, and if anything, it'll start to stall the chainsaw. And so the trick is to keep your RPMs up and keep that blade sharp. Don't try to push the blade through. Just let the chainsaw do the work. Ideally, you would want your log to be resting slightly downhill so that the weight of the chainsaw and the pull of the chain will do all the walking, and you really just need to be there to guide it down the log, not push it down the log. So that's about it, guys. I will say, I do have one question for you. What kind of wood is this? When I first saw the tree laying there on the ground, I thought maybe it was red oak. But cutting into this, it's very white, very pale in color, almost like white oak, but the bark looks like red oak. So if you guys have any thoughts on this, let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, I was really happy to be off the homestead and just doing something a little bit different. This is maybe only the third time I've done any chainsaw milling, and I do enjoy it, but man, it is back-breaking work. I can see why a lot of guys use tractors and bandsaw mills to do this kind of work. But I don't have any of that. I have some 2x4s and a $100 chainsaw mill I got off of Amazon. At least I had some spectators watching me work. He was cheering me on the whole time. I'm pretty happy with what I got. I did this with one sharpening of the chain and about a tank of gas inside the chainsaw. Not a bad haul. I really only got to about half of it. There's still the biggest logs left, but my bar is a little short and so I'm kinda hesitant to go after them. Still, I think I might go back and give it a shot. But that's it from me, guys. As always, y'all be good. I'll see you in the next one.